Hi, I'm Meredith. Today we have with us Thomas Addaquay, the founder and CEO of GreenXPrize. Mr. Addaquay, we have a few questions for you today to learn more about your company.
Sure.
Okay. Where did the idea for GreenXPrize come from?
The idea of GreenXPrize actually started from my real estate career days, and at the time, somewhere in 2008, 2009, we're going to develop a sustainable community. But as fate would have it, the Green Recession at the time put that idea on hold. So we had at the time developed so much body of knowledge about going green and sustainability. So we turned all that idea into a book. We expanded upon it and then turned that into a book. We also recognized that just writing the book wasn't good enough. So then came the idea of GreenXPrize, which is really a call to arms. We're not just going to discuss the ideas, we're not just going to discuss the topics. We actually want to do something about it and bring the needed change that we think the community deserves.
What inspired you to choose the name for GreenXPrize?
Sure. So the X part is a mathematical unknown variable, and which really is what the GreenXPrize platform is going to look like. Ultimately, we don't know what type of ideas or innovation that these GreenX alumni are going to bring to bear. So that symbolizes that. Then the green connotes sustainability, going green, solar, and things of that nature. And then the prize part is the innovative cash reward for our winners, which as it stands now is $10,000 for our winners.
What has been the most surprising part of this project so far?
Sure. So I would say there are two things that has surprised me a little bit. One is during the writing of the book, we had to sort of mention sustainable leadership and leaders. And at the time, we looked at the Chinese Politburo Standing Committee. And at the time, it looked as though, even though everybody was saying the single-party system in China, they actually spearhead sustainability and going green. So on the one hand, and again, that goes back to challenging old axioms and old knowledge. You go back and you're being told that China is a single party state, and here they are embracing sustainability. And actually, they seem to be ahead of the United States when it comes to embracing of sustainability, which is quite an interesting phenomenon, because the United States is a democracy, and we told that China is not. So it's some sort of it's an interesting dichotomy there.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Then the second the second thing that surprised me a little bit was we wrote the book some 4 or 5 years ago. We just never really published it because we're waiting on the GreenXPrize platform and all the bells and whistles will come with technology to be debuted, and then we'll fuse the two together. What we found out was that we did mention about Pakistan taking advantage of the United States in terms of their aid money and not potentially providing much in exchange. So the United States went into some sort of a deal with Pakistan, giving aid and money. And in exchange, they were hoping that Pakistan would share intelligence with them. And we wrote in the book that we didn't think that Pakistan was maintaining their end of the bargain, because that's where, as we know, Osama bin Laden was found. So we questioned it, and for some 4 years later, the President of the United States actually withdrew aid money from Pakistan. So we didn't know who the president was going to be at the time. It was just something that we felt was not in the best interest of the United States. So that kind of surprised us also, because when it happened in reality, the president withdrew aid money from Pakistan. We predicted that. We wrote about that some 4 years ago. That also was a little bit surprising. Even more surprising is the fact that you think about the fact that the president is somewhat known for not embracing sustainability. Now, why would we even talk about that in the book? It touches on national security, which is one arm of sustainability, because when you look at the nuclear issue, the nuclear issue is a problem for all of us that could literally wipe out all of us on Earth. So we did talk about that, and that's where the correlation comes in.
What, in your mind, determines the success for GreenXPrize?
So I would say ultimately we're going to want to see a lot of GreenXPrize alumni having a huge impact in society. When you go sign up on the page, there's a questionnaire, there's a part that we ask where your idea would impact, so we want to know which region each person is coming from. So ultimately we're hoping that GreenXPrize alumni would have brilliant ideas, and maybe 5-10 years from now, they will trace their roots to this humble platform here.
Oh, wow. I noticed you're running a promotion.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us more about that?
Sure. So I think the traffic flow for the past week or two has seen a surge from most developing countries, mostly in Asia and India, Latin America, and a lot of parts of Africa. And it would appear as though most of these folks may be constrained with that initial idea of $10, which actually it came about because we wanted to embrace our own sustainability model. We're a young company and we never took out any loans. We haven't received any grant money from anywhere. So we wanted to, sort of self-fund our own project here. But as it stands now, we're giving this promo out so that everybody can join, the most people can join as much as possible, and we're going to have this promo indefinitely, depending on the reaction from the crowd. So what is going to happen is you go on the landing page and you go to register with unique code. You click on register with unique code and you type in all big caps, green. You type in green, and then that would you go through 1 or 2 steps and you'll be registered. And hopefully once you post your idea, you don't even have to have an idea. You can just be a part of the community, because you're probably going to just be on there to know what other people are doing. And once you're on there, you want to encourage your friends and family members to also do the same thing, because even if you post an idea, you want the votes that would get you to win the cash prize.
Please share the difference between GreenXPrize and other prizes, including the Nobel Prize.
Oh, wow, okay. So I think there's a couple of things. One, the GreenXPrize is going to be recurring. It's not going to be a one-time off prize for sustainable ideas. This is going to happen on a monthly basis, and that's the reason why we're encouraging a lot of people to get on there very fast, especially now that we're running this promo where you can get in for free. So that's the first differential. And then the second differential is the fact that we're not going to have management or a group of wise men or women selecting those who are going to win. That decision is going to be left to the crowd, to you guys, to decide who gets to win or what idea qualifies as a sustainable idea. So I think with those two, and the third part also is the fact that we want to sort of decentralize the process of getting seed money to start your business. We call it the Uberization of the green venture capitalist space. So we want to accelerate that process, and we want to do to the green space what Twitter did to the social media space. You could have a simple idea. All we have to do is come, join, register, go through the free process, and share your idea. You might just win.
I noticed on your Facebook page, Go Green Media Labs, go check it out. And I saw an article you wrote about gun control. Can you talk more about that, please?
Sure. So again, the idea of GreenXPrize, one of our objectives here is for all of us, part of the community, to challenge old ideas, old principles, old axioms. And one issue that came to mind was gun legislation, gun control. You have a 200-year-old law on the books, and right now, as it stands, it's posing a lot of threat to a lot of people, because people are able to obtain firearms much easier than other developed countries. So we're hoping that with this highlight that we bring into bear, GreenXPrize alumni in the future will possess the business acumen, the legislative and political will to make the right changes. We also recognize the fact that most of the gun manufacturers are indeed publicly traded companies, so they are aimed to make money. So, but you have to balance the two. You have to balance the safety of human lives versus, just trying to sell. Now that brings me to an interesting phenomenon that we're seeing in the sustainability space, which is a lot of fossil fuel-based companies, the traditional ones, are embracing sustainability. Look at Shell and BP; they are spearheading their R&D budgets are now skewed more towards sustainability. So we want the gun lobby and the gun manufacturers to also do the same thing, and try to set aside funds towards safety of the very people that are keeping you financially, alive. So we think it's a good trade-off. You have lives versus just making profit, and this is the sort of a balance that we're trying to have GreenX alumni embrace.
I understand that.
Yeah.
It's a very serious topic.
It's an extremely serious topic.
Yes.
With very dire consequences. You think about the human loss, the human capital that is being shred away in this day and age. Human resources is your most vital assets. So these young folks who are losing their lives to gun violence, whether it being on the streets of gang banging, or whether it's through somebody with mental health challenges, is still a huge problem that needs to be addressed. And I think gun safety should be the priority on every leader's mind.
Any final thoughts or some giveaways that you would like to tell our audience?
So I think the last interview that I had, the question was asked as to one important thing that we can share, and I think it's the idea of sticking to an ideology and holding on for as long as you live here on this earth. But we ought to start embracing change. We know change is important. Now the question is, how fast can we change? So we're hoping that this GreenXPrize model will accelerate the change process. We know things are changing in the social media space, but it needs to be accelerated. And not just innovative products, but ideas ought to change. Politically, in the business landscape, we need fresh ideas, and that's where we're counting on your generation and maybe the other generations above you to help us with those type of changes. That's our ultimate goal.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for sharing today.
Sure.
All right. That is a wrap, guys. We learned so much today about GreenXPrize.
Sure.
Now, the website is going to be at the bottom of the screen, and everyone needs to go and check that out and sign up for the prize.
That's right.
And to vote.
That's right. And it's free right now.
Yes,
all you have to do
it is free.
Is enter your promo code GREEN. You go to the landing page and you click on register with unique code. Once you click on that, you just enter GREEN, all big caps, and then it takes you from there. It's a very simple step. It's a very easy process, and nobody has any excuse now because it's free.
Thank you so much for spending time with us, Mr. Addaquay.
Sure.
I learned a lot.
Thank you for
Especially
having
me. I learned a lot because I've been trying to learn more about sustainability.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually working on a project right now
Oh, great.
in school
Oh, really?
about it. Yes.
Well, then this is a good chance to go post your
Yes.
idea on there, especially now that everything is free. We're running that free promo, so I think you should go post that idea on there.
Yeah, that seems very cool.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for spending time with us, and look for future episodes about GreenXPrize.